Hey everybody, welcome to Indie Game Tea Time. I'm your host, Techvetica. This is your weekly indie game deep dive into different subjects and games that are all things indie. Today, we're going to be talking about Slay the Spire, which is, I think, maybe the best card deck builder sort of indie game that we've got, for indie right now. They really paved the way, showed us how it's done. But first, we're going to jump into some headlines and upcoming indie games that I particularly think you're going to be interested in. As always, we are here with the live Twitch audience. So if you see chat down there, that's Twitch. They're here. They're saying hi. You can come on over at twitch.tv/Techvetica. Say hi, Twitch chat. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all what I'm drinking. It is Indie Game Tea Time after all, and I have limoncello tea. It's a white tea with a lot of little lemon hints in it, and it's very good. Say hi, Twitch chat. Hi, Twitch chat. Okay, wonderful. Whew. Okay, actually, before we start headlines, let me just say, last week, you remember how many game previews I had? It turns out it was just an epic week for indie games to come out. So many banging indie games came out. I can't play all of them, but I have been locked in with that early access Hades 2 now, thanks to Daniel, who's in the chat. I caved. I've been playing it. I love that dang spider, Arachne. I'm into it. On stream this past week, I was playing Animal Well and got sucked into Animal Well. So just this week, I've got a couple of games for you. Not every week's a banger like last week, but let's jump into our first news story. And this is actually just sort of hey, if you love a game and you like collector's editions or physical copies, you're going to want to see this. Animal Well is getting a collector's edition from none other than Limited Run, which I think is so exciting. Animal Well is a puzzle Metroidvania. There's no combat, but it is one of the best. It's my game of the year. It's the best game I've played in a long, long time. And it's taking pre-orders soon. And I'm just gonna click. It's PS5 and Nintendo Switch. Let's go to the big screen. Look at this nice box that it comes in. Now it's $99.99 for the collector's edition. It's a lot. But oh my God, the stuff you get in it. Look at this. You get rainbow laminate lithographs from art of the game, a thematic journal, which I think is kind of an interesting choice. You get a full map of the game, which is like a 24 by 36 inch poster. You get a reactive acrylic display scene. When it says reactive, I'm guessing it lights up to noise or sound. I don't know. And you get holographic stickers. That's so cool. Oh, and I love that they just decorated this with some of the vines in the game. This honestly is so exciting to me. The fact that Big Mode is working with Limited Run to put out a collector's edition of this phenomenal game. Now, if you just want the physical version is available, and that runs you about $40 US for either PS5 or for Switch. And that's just your copy of that. It looks real sick, right? I'm so very excited for this. I mean, I I don't know if I'm gonna get it, but oh man, I'm so happy that they're tributing this wonderful game. It's only going to be a limited run as well, obviously, as the name of the shop. If you've never seen it limited run before, do yourself a favor and go look at what they've got, because they do limited runs of video games in physical form that wouldn't see physical form often. And I think that's so neat. I think it's so cool. They sell there's Far Cry Blood Dragon prismatic stickers. Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon Rex shirt. Rex Power Cult Mark 6, Mark 4 Cyber Command. I'm bad at Roman numerals. This is different. Hello, Pumpkin. We're doing indie game tea time. We're going through headlines. We were just talking about Animal Well getting their own collector's edition. And then we stumbled upon, I just wanted to give Limited Run a big shout out because I think they do some just real good work at preserving indie games and preserving video games as it is. But this is so cool. So I don't know. I'm just like beyond thrilled to see that sort of come up. So, anyways, that's so exciting. I don't know. Do y'all prefer physical games or collector's editions when they come out? My stance is like, I don't think I've ever bought a collector's edition of something, and I've always wanted to, but I don't know. I know that like Zesty has told me in the past that they prefer physical copies of games. And it makes a lot of sense because when you have that physical copy, you own it, right? Lucky, how are you doing? Welcome in. We're discussing physical copies of games versus digital, and if you like collector's editions. Um, for me, I don't know that I need more stuff on my shelf back here, taking up space. I've already got kind of too much. So tchotchkes don't really make me happy, but I do miss those old days of having like a physical game library that I could just like thumb through to find the game I want. Pumpkin, you prefer physical games and you'll get a collector's edition if it's within a certain budget. I'm kind of wondering if I should start doing that around like indie games I love. You know what I mean? Like I feel like if I have like a game of the year, like something that really blew me away, maybe I should just get the physical copy of it just to have it, you know? It like getting a physical copy of Animal Well, Hi-Fi Rush, um, that kind of thing might be really interesting for my collection. Because that's it says something. Oh, especially if it comes with an art book or even a pamphlet. I love collecting those in general. I love concept art from a game in general, so I understand. Gaming Gig says, I like physical copies of games for consoles. Obviously, if I'm playing on PC, I don't get that, but you definitely don't own digital games forever. I like knowing I could play it years from now if I want to. Yeah, that's sort of part of it, right? Is like with the games, we've had this debate over and over, right? Well, not really a debate, but this conversation has come up recently about you don't own your games on like Steam, right? Steam owns those games, and they can just take them away. Uh, which is actually a great segue. I'm real good at this, y'all. I'm getting better and better. Let's talk about games that are getting taken away from Steam. Just kidding, it's opposite day. Games are staying on Steam. Warner Brothers, this is from Polygon. Warner Brothers reverses course and it's not going to delist the Adult Swim indie game. So I think that's really cool. I need to pull my notes out here. Oop. Okay. So anyways, I think that's really cool though. Um in March, indie devs were told that their games published by Adult Swim would be delisted from Steam and removed from console stores. Or console like stores like PSN and the Nintendo Switch store, Nintendo Online. Well, Warner Brothers Discovery has come out and they have said that they are reversing that decision that they made. And part of that decision was because of the amount of criticism that they got for like this cold company coming in and taking down these games without regards to the game's communities or the developers. Um, and so this whole thing about digital copies, you had a digital copy, this wouldn't matter, right? Or a physical copy. Sorry. You had a physical copy, this wouldn't matter. Um, and I gotta say, I looked at the Adult Swim catalog when I was researching this, and there are two games on there that I own that I love. So if you want recommendations from Adult Swim categories, there's Ghost Song, which is a cryptic Metroidvania. We reviewed it on Weird Little Indies. If you look back through my videos, there's a little talk about Ghost Song. And then there's a game called Kingsway, which I think y'all would love. It's a quirky little RPG, but it's all run through its own like OS. And so you have different windows for different things. Um, It's just like a fake operating system that runs a D&D game for you. It's really cute. It's full of character. Um, so I'm excited about, the fact that these Adult Swim indie games are coming on and staying, where they're supposed to be. Um, I don't know. It's a bummer when these kind of games uh go out, and it's kind of nice to see the community rally and win a little bit, right? Um it's I don't know, just to see that. And then it kind of brings me to another sort of sad. We're actually ending on a bad. I probably should have ended on this one, y'all, but I'm throwing this one in there. We're gonna head on over to Steam. So while Animal Well is probably my favorite game I've played this year so far, my favorite game I played last year, and I know y'all probably know what's coming here, is Hi-Fi Rush. Hi-Fi Rush is a rhythm-based little like hack and slash that just exploded onto the scene, made by Tango Gameworks. I had the most fun with this game. Now I played it on Game Pass. Um, you know what? I never bought it, and I feel bad about that. Maybe I should have bought it. Um, but Tango Gameworks is being laid off um, by Bethesda. By I think it was Xbox overall, right? So Tango Gameworks, they're going to be no more. And Tango, like they really do put out some great games. Um, so I'm sad to see them. I'm sad to see them go. Well, now it says Bethesda. I don't know how I get to Tango. I think just publishers get that. But you absolutely loved it. It was such a good game. The music, the characters were so good. I have clips saying that the first boss could step on me and I wouldn't care. Um, it's just an amazing game. And the community has sort of swarmed around this and review bombed it, but like a reverse review bomb. Thanks to Tango Gameworks for the best game. This truly is an amazing rhythm-based action game. It was the next breakout hit that Xbox needed. With that being said, I really hope Xbox allows Tango Gameworks with some more creative freedom in the future. Oh wait, I'm sorry. What did Xbox do? Close the studio. That one's a little salty. A little salty. It also ends with expletives. Oops. But like, people are giving positive reviews and saying like Rip Tango, thank you for making this game. And I think that's really amazing. Um Tango Gameworks was cooking too much, so they had to shut it down. Thanks, Microsoft. Um it's an amazing game. I hate to see a studio like this um get closed down. Tango's done some amazing stuff in the past. Like I said, it's pretty sad to me, but like I get it. I just kind of wonder, I don't know. I feel like I need indie game studios to stay indie and not team up with like Xbox or Microsoft where their bottom line is like really important. Um it's just sad to me. They're they're gone and we might not ever see another Hi-Fi Rush or get to experience something in that universe again because it was so amazing. It made me feel like a kid again to play this game. Made me feel like this. That was that first view of like the factory when you jumped out. I need to play it again. We're gonna play it again on stream. Maybe I should have bought it. Maybe that maybe that should have happened. But what a great game. I'm gonna miss it. But hey, Tango Gameworks, thank you so much for bringing me so much joy over the years. All right, switching gears. Who's ready for some trailers of games? Here's the thing, this indie game train never stops. There's always something coming out, I feel like. And next week, we've got a couple hot ones coming out. The first one is called Baladin. So like Paladins, but so this is a whimsical journey and you bring joy to a bright fantasy world in a role-playing adventure for 1 to 4 players. So there's some co-op here. You craft your own story and solve quests however you like, but beware, every time you fail, the dragon will send you back in time. This is going to be for PC only this next week. It's going to release on May 15th. But it is coming to PS4 and PS5, as well as Nintendo Switch at a later date this year. But without further ado... Oh, it's going so fast. Don't worry, I'll restart it for y'all. I'll restart this for y'all so you can see this trailer. All right, here we go. Very Paper Mario art.
The dreaded dragon rose above the land, and our heroes stood there, positively petrified, trembling in their boots. Go back and bring me more loot. Baladins, bringing us joy wherever they go. Together they have a world to explore. Wait, haven't I told this tale before? Roll the dice, people. Only they can bring an end to this loop in time. With joy and some luck, a feat most sublime. Band together as friends, feed the dragon they must. Restore the peace, a cause most just. Together they sing the Baladins hymn. This is it, their time is now. Baladins.
So cute. I'm so excited for Baladins. May 15th for PC. So that's going to be really, really exciting. Baladins, I think, would be good for kids, like parents to play with kids. And then I've got one more for you. What I've got this time for you is a game called Archaeogem. I don't know if you like puzzle platformers like Celeste, but this really gives me Celeste vibes. Hats up and whips out. The wilderness mysteries await. Explore lush biomes and use your trusty whip to extract wildflowers, mystic powers, and collect rare gems in this dynamic precision platform. Unearth archaeological marvels and become a legend. I think this is coming out for PC only, as far as I can tell. And without further ado, let's see this trailer. Like, look at these Celeste vibes. It's a gorgeous looking game. You know it's going to be real cute on a Steam Deck. Archaeogem, coming May 17th on Steam. And it says GX. I'm not sure what GX is. You love the music that was synced up with the mushroom bounces? It made me so happy. I played a little bit of it. There's a demo out right now for Archaeogem. And I played a little bit of that this past week. I had got done with my notes and I was like, let's tuck into this little demo. I'm going to pop this link in the chat, and you on YouTube, you know it'll be in the show notes down below. It's great. At first I thought, oh, this is like Celeste, but easy. But as I played through it, oh my God, it got harder. It got way harder. And then it got to the point where I said, my hands can't do this. My hands hurt. Probably from too much Animal Well. I don't know that it's going to like blow up, but I think it's a cute little game that a lot of people are going to rally behind. And I think it's going to have just like a fun little cult following, if I was to guess. It's very cute though. We're switching gears. We're jumping in to Slay the Spire. Can I get y'all to put a 1 in chat if you've played Slay the Spire before? My Steam hours are 67 hours in Slay the Spire, but I found the best place to play it is my iPad. I also have it on Switch. Before I had the iPad, I had it on Switch to play. I'm not seeing ones. I don't know that y'all have ever played Slay the Spire. You're ready to learn? Oh my gosh. To me, it is the culmination of card games. And that is from somebody who doesn't like card games like this. I'm also real bad at Slay the Spire. But let me tell you a little bit about what Slay the Spire is. It's a simple card builder roguelike, in which you climb a tower as one of 4 classes, and you have cards which are your actions each round. So you just play cards against enemies. Those cards can be attacks, they can be blocks, they can be powers that your unique person has. Um, and cards are only one of your resources. So you've got your cards, you've got potions, which are one-time use little temporary powers, right? So maybe you've got a block potion, you could drink it and give yourself block. Maybe you've got a potion that draws a power card that costs 0 for that turn. It's pretty cool. And then the last resource you have really is relics. Relics are permanent upgrades throughout the run. So from where you start to where you fall, you always have a relic. Each class comes with their own relic. So like the first class, the Ironborn, he comes with a relic that heals him a little bit after every battle, right? Where I don't remember what the silence relic is. We'll talk about them. Our next segment, we're going to go through all the classes. Anyways, you have those and you've got a little bit of health, and you have to expend energy each point. You can only play so many cards. And when you die, you start back at the beginning. But every time you play through, you build up experience and unlock more helpful relics and cards and stuff to help you on your next run. After you beat the base game, I think there's up to 20 different ascensions. It's wild. It's very in depth. And we'll talk a little bit about the nitty gritty of the development of it in just a moment. But I want to introduce you to the 4 classes in our first fun segment, which is what your favorite Slay the Spire class would be in high school. All right, and as a group, we're just going to decide what they would be when I tell you a little bit about their play style. Okay? Here are our 4 classes. So, this way I could just look at them and check. And yeah, the Ironclad has... Here, I'll make my camera go away. The Ironclad has the most health. I think he starts with the most gold, too. No, they all start with the same. I thought they had different. The remaining soldier of the Ironclads sold his soul to harness demonic charges. His relic is Burning Blood. At the end of combat, heal 6 HP. So yeah, I think that he is your consummate jock on the football team. I think that he probably has a lot of friends. I think he's very resilient. He bounces back pretty easy. And I think he's probably popular. I think everybody likes him. You know? All right. Next up is the Silent. I'll hide my camera for these. The Silent, 70 HP. A deadly huntress from the Foglands. Eradicates foes with daggers and poisons. Their relic is Ring of the Snake. At the start of each combat, draw 2 additional cards. So we got to figure out who this would be. But I'm thinking it's somebody who's able to get a lot of resources. I think that they're... trying to think. A deadly huntress from the Foglands. Eradicates foes with daggers and poisons. Would this be like a Mean Girls situation? You know, it's the physical embodiment of like cutting remarks and gossip and all of that. Oh, the emo goth chick. Lucky. See, that's so good. Yeah, I think this is the emo goth group. And she's like the head of the emo goth chicks. That's amazing. Perfect. I didn't even think about that. Moving on. I already know. This is my favorite class. My favorite class is the Defect. I think that the Defect is so cool. 75 HP. I think a little less, right? No, a little more. The combat automaton, which became self-aware. Ancient technology allows the manipulation of orbs. Practicore. At the start of each combat, channel 1 lightning. So, I'm thinking this is like the computer nerds, you know? They're like the AV club. This is definitely the head of the AV club. All into, you know, audio, video, computer lab setups, all of that. That's the vibes I get from it. I don't know. What do y'all think? Do you agree? I definitely get nerd vibes. The last class that you can be is the Watcher. He's got a little bit less HP. A blind ascetic who has come to evaluate the spire, master of the divine stances. Her relic is pure water. At the start of each combat, add a miracle to your hand. A miracle gives you extra energy, so you could do more stuff. I have one unlock remaining. I have not played her as much. Anyways, the Watcher. I don't know what they would be. I feel like there's got to be some like new age, like, you know, I don't know. Those of you involved in schools or have been in them since me, is there like a new agey witchy component? Because I feel like that's where this girl is gonna be. I think that's her class. She's like going to yoga. She's going to the meditation class. She is opening up her third eye. She's on a retreat on the weekends, meditating. She's just living her best life. She probably orders goop from Gwyneth Paltrow. You see them all the time? Okay. This is good to know. This is good to know. I just learned what truly Skibbity Toilet is today. So, you know, I don't know as much as I'm letting on. Yeah, okay, so we got the jock, we got the emo girl, we got a computer nerd, and we got this like new age sort of girl. I'm so sorry, Heck. It's okay. It's okay. Here, we'll give you a peek. I'm not going to play through a whole round. But at the start, you talk to Niao, who is the whale, who brings you back to life. You pick a perk. So I'm going to pick Niao's Lament. Enemies in your first 3 combats have 1 HP. And then you have a map. And you're reaching the top of the spire. You do this 3 times. There is an optional ending boss if you get all 3 of these little keys. I'm just going to show you real brief. You've got an enemy who's intending to attack for 11. And that's all you really know. Well, I chose this one that gives them all 1 HP. Every time you kill them, you get that, you get a potion, and then you add a card to your deck. So, what's special about this game to me is that it makes deck building kind of the whole point of the game. So I can take one that will deal 9 damage. I'm not thinking through this very well. But you can see me healing after every turn. You don't always get a potion. Apply 1 weak to all enemies. Exhaust. At the end of your turn, lose 1 HP and deal 5 damage to all enemies. So that's kind of an interesting one. You could build something up around Combust. We'll talk about that because there's a little bit to Slay the Spire that I think is interesting in the way of getting synergies. Kind of like Binding of Isaac did back in the day. Again, we're not playing this for like anything big. I was hoping to get... Sometimes you get a choice to make instead of a battle. So you find a shimmering mass of light encompassing the center of the room. Its warm glow and enchanting patterns invite you in. So yeah, I'll upgrade 2 of my cards. As you walk through the light, you notice the light is absorbed into you. It's scorching hot. However, the pain quickly recedes. You feel invigorated, as though you received a well-deserved slap, did it say? We'll transform a card. I always get rid of my strikes. I didn't see what it gave me. Oh, demon form. At the start of your turn, gain 3 strength. Strength will make my attacks do more damage. However, are you kidding me? I don't have an attack. So I've got a block. We're not going to play through this entire thing. So now, because I have strength, it increases my attack by 4. This guy's going to attack, but he won't get the chance. So you have all these choices, and you keep having the choice to add cards, or you can skip. You don't have to add cards. There are some strategies where you want to build something. You want to build something that has a small deck, so that you're getting like 1 or 2 good cards over and over and over again. You can rest, you can smith, and then in the upper games you can recall, which gives you part of this key you need to unlock the very final boss. I'm not going to take the key. We're not playing this run for real, but I am going to smith so you can see what an upgrade looks like. We could increase our strength. We could apply 2 weak to all enemies, gain more block. I like upgrading anger because it's just going to keep putting 8 damage for free in our deck. Anger's kind of good to go with. And then these are your bosses. Now I'm going to stop here at showing you the game. We'll keep the game up in the background though, because I can easily drop in and show you things as we do this. And that might be kind of a cool way to go about it. But let's hop on to talk a little bit about the development of this game. This game is absolutely amazing. I don't know, I'm impressed by it. It's developed by a Seattle-based studio called Megacrit. Mainly it's 2 guys, and they both came from the world of Netrunner, which is also like a card battler game. And initially, Slay the Spire was inspired by a card game called Dominion. I don't know if y'all are aware of Dominion. If you're not a big tabletop game person, you may not know about it. I've never played it, but I have like seen it played. I've been in places where people were playing it. But it's hard to say, but going to Board Game Geek, you could just read that like Dominion is basically a card game that is you build a deck and then you battle, but all the cards are in the box. You're not buying new cards like Magic the Gathering or Hearthstone, where every season new cards come out and then you're having to upgrade a deck. You buy this game, you upgrade your deck as you go, you battle, right? It's a game about math, and so really the history and development are all really rooted in math and metrics. There's not like a story here that is like, oh man, I don't know. I feel like Stardew had such a weird, tumultuous like start and like this like single dev working for years. Whereas Slay the Spire, like these people came together with a goal. They kind of knew what they were doing and they just kind of got it done. And it took a few years, for sure, like you do. But I want to show y'all because they didn't do a ton of like, they themselves were not artists. So they got an artist later on. But early on it was like stick figures basically. And no shame in that. But I wanted to show y'all some of the early art because it is actually in the game. If you get a certain level, you can unlock the beta artwork. The beta artwork is so cool. That's Slay the Spire. This is it. Look at this freaking, this is so good. I wonder if there's a card that we saw earlier or that we have. Don't think these are mostly, these are all for the watcher. But I love them. I love them. I love these little like MS Paint drawings of cards. I think they're funny. Deceive reality. Whoa. Select. Brawl is really good. It's the watcher drawing. You draw 3 cards. You cannot play skills this turn. Here's a little ghost with a shield. Gain 2 block for each card in your hand. I love it. Deus Ex Machina. I think they didn't have a name for it at the beginning. There's a bus hitting an alien and the watcher freaking out. Good stuff. Very like memeable art. But I wanted to kind of show y'all a little bit of just, you know, where where they came from, and where they were going. Some of that, like, I don't know, it adds a lot of character for me. That's a little bit of fun. But early on in development, they started from the area of like metrics gameplay. So what they did was they gave the game to a lot of people in the Netrunner community, a lot of people that liked card games, and they had beta testing done and alpha testing. And they knew that the main focus of their dev efforts had to be all about balancing this card game. It's really, really tricky. The game really depends on balance in the face of countless other things, because what you encounter each level is procedurally generated. So not every game, you know, at the really high difficulties maybe are winnable. Now you know, when you're starting out, every game is winnable, but it's a little bit difficult to like know how to do it. You got to know the cards. The one thing that the devs credit with making this whole game work, and they said players were endlessly confused about. Let's go back to the game screen. Do you see over the little dude's head, there's this like sleeping Z. Let's wake him up. We might as well weaken him. It's not going to matter. But you can see this little symbol right here. If I hold my mouse over it, it says stunned. This enemy is stunned on its turn. Receive 50% more damage because he's vulnerable. Weakened, attacks deal 25% less damage. So we'll go the next round. He's stunned. Now he's aggressive. He's got a sword that says 18. This enemy intends to attack for 18 damage, right? So that lets me know that like I probably need to use a block. I probably need to do some things to like weaken them. I don't have a whole lot. I can play anger, which will put another anger in my deck. I can do a little bit of that. I should have drank my dexterity potion because that improves block. But oh well. So anyways, just to show you, this intent system is what the devs credit with making everything sort of fall into place with what they were envisioning for this game. I don't know. I think that's kind of cool. Another big point to their data, and they did a lot of talk on how they collected data, how they put things together. And it's really interesting because, you know, he said that like your metrics can't control you, you really have to control them. So they would have their players playing, and they might get like 105 playthroughs in 1 week from one person, and then 20 playthroughs for everyone else. Well, so then they can't look at their data and say like, oh, this is being done a lot, so we need to do this. They have to make their actions based on what a lot of people are doing, not necessarily one player who's like addicted to the game, right? So they really had to control carefully and consider best use cases and not just go by stats and sort of how they can mislead. And I'm just going to toot my own horn, maybe some of y'all's horns out there who are streamers. They gave big props to streamers because when a streamer plays through, they said they talk about their thoughts better than your average gamer who doesn't stream. So like their beta testers, when they watched people play, they found streamers to be the most helpful, especially if they did not announce their presence in the stream, because then the streamer would say whatever they felt like. even if it was maybe perceived to be hurtful, they didn't hold their tongue as much. So they watched a lot of streams, and they told, people developing their games, like, watch streamers play your game and don't necessarily talk to them. Streamers for the win. Yeah, we're good at never shutting up. Once you've streamed for a while, you just kind of realize, like, you just got to let words fall out of your head as the thoughts come in. And a lot of times, I think it's a really kind of cool thing. This game released in early access on November 14th, 2017. And here, you know what? Just for y'all, I'll show you the trailer. This was the early access trailer. It's wild to me this game hasn't changed that much since early access as far as the art. Slay the Spire. November 15th, 2017. So long ago. Oh my god. I watched that War Stories. Very good. I did a lot of research around that. Anyways, I thought a little breakup for a little visual is helpful there. It's been a couple of years. Well, no, it's been about a year, I would say, in early access. It released early, January 23rd, 2019, so earlier in the year, and it went into early access in November, so really a year in early access. Right now, I checked as of yesterday on Steam, sold around 2.9 million copies on Steam, and that's not counting iOS, Android, Switch, all the other consoles. They made it for other consoles. And last week's maximum daily concurrent players on Steam was 19,500. So still, a ton of people love playing this game, and it is endlessly, I think, one of the best deck builders I've ever played. I like Monster Train a lot too, but Monster Train is a lot more ruthless, I feel like. Just so you know what you're getting into. And I'll tell you, my favorite way of playing Slay the Spire is not on my PC. It's not on my Switch or my Steam Deck. My favorite way to play Slay the Spire is on my iPad. It is just the best way to, like, come in here and say, like, oh, I'm going to play Defect. And, like, literally, it runs really well. Another try. Yeah, let's go. Let's remove a card from my deck. We'll remove a strike. There's something to me about just being able to, like, I don't know, just be able to, like, touch the cards and say, like, oh, we're going to do this, and then we'll end our turn. Something about that is so dang amazing. I don't game on my tablet a lot, but when I was at the beach the other week, I only had my tablet and my computer, and that was on purpose, and I found myself playing Slay the Spire a ton. And I just remembered how great it was, and I think on iPad, it's absolutely amazing. Okay, we got a segment coming up. That was sort of the history of it. Let's talk about the future, because the future is pretty cool too. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to do that. I think card games might just be great for that. I'm very excited about the eventual mobile port of Balatro. Yes, thank you for bringing that up. Balatro, I'm very excited for that. Oh my gosh. Apparently I cannot function in YouTube today. Don't ask me why. I just want it paused, but at the beginning. Thank you. All right, a month ago, this dropped. Oh, I should put y'all here. This animation. Slay the Spire 2 is coming out. A new class. I did not see the defect. Early access 2025. But now I'm kind of wondering, who is this? Who knows? Yeah, it's coming out. So if you want to get hyped for it, now is the time to... There's the whale. Hello again. I got goosebumps. I got goosebumps just watching that. What is that video? A while back, some news rocked the gaming community about Unity. And it was that Unity was changing their pricing. And the pricing was wild. Oh, there's a comment from Gaming Gang. It's such a great time for indies. Now I need to make a point to play Slay the Spire so you can play the sequel. Gotta mix it in with Hades 2 and Animal Well. Yeah, there's too many indies to get to. And Baladins, maybe. I would love to see you and Randy play Baladins together. I think it would be cute. So a while back, Unity had changed their pricing structure, and it made a lot of companies angry. One of the companies that got angry about it was Megacrit. And they said if they didn't change it, they were gonna get off of Unity and go to Godot. Well, they wanted to try out Godot, and they made a game as proof of concept in Godot. And now, as a result of the changes with the Unity engine licensing, Slay the Spire, I think, is in Godot. And Slay the Spire 2 is going to be using Godot. So that's really cool. Different engine. But there was a game that they made that was a card battler. And I thought we would just play a little bit of it before we wrap up today. It's called Dancing Duelist. And you know I can't resist a fun little indie like that. Let me go to my downloads. It's on itch.io. I'll put the link for it. I'll put the link for it in chat real quick. And of course, it'll be in the show notes on YouTube when y'all listen there. There's the game in there's the link for it on the bottom of the screen. Again, it'll be in the show notes. Let me get it all set up here. Yes, I want to run it anyways. I trust these developers. Wow, the sound is really quiet on this game. All right. Hope y'all are ready for an unpolished dancing duelist. Yeah. Yeah, turn that music up. That's good music. What? Okay. Choose fighter who has their own cards. Clash against a random fighter in a dance-off. Your cards play automatically. Win a clash by reducing the opponent's hype points to 0. All of an opponent's cards are trashed. Your HP reaches 50. If a clash isn't settled in 20 turns, the fighter with the most HP wins. Before each clash, add 2 cards to your deck. There we go. Every other clash, gain a trinket which grants special abilities. Win 7 clashes to be the ultimate dance duelist. Lose 3 and you're out. So I've never played this. This is the first time I've opened it. Oh my god, there's Disco Dan, Metal Marty, Country Carl, Groove Oracle, Rhythm Weaver, Hardcore Henry, Melody Maestro, Carnival Carey, Scorching Sylph, Boomboxer, and Jazzy Jasper. I think we gotta go with Disco Dan.
Disco Dan!
Master of the floor, Dan likes to pull off as many moves at once.
Let's go!
Let's try it. Whoa. I do get this vibe of like, this does, so my deck has 3 spins where I deal 1 damage. 1 bedazzle where I deal 3 damage. And then the splits, deal damage equal to the number of cards you've played this turn. Let's see. Get a little defensive there. Oh, deal 2 damage. We'll get a black backflip and a bubble. This is so cool. Okay, so it's just automatic. Basic, welcome in. Thank you for the subscription. I really appreciate that. Because we're doing the podcast, I don't have my sounds turned on, my alerts, but I really do appreciate the support. That means a ton to me. Oh, look, they have the same intent marker. This is really a proof of concept for using Godot for Slay the Spire. On your turn, play 2 extra cards, whereas this person will flash with 3 strength, lose 1 strength at the end of your turn. All right, and they're going to attack for 3. We can't really do anything, so...
Fight!
Oh. Click play 1 card. Oh, I see. So we play our whole deck and then we go back and forth. That doesn't seem fair. Okay, we gotta dodge. All right, we won. That was hard to keep up with. I know, okay, it's okay. I just wanted to make sure. I'm so appreciative of anybody who supports me, and I want to make a big deal out of it anytime. Get more dodge. You trash 2 cards, play 2 cards. Deal 10 damage. Do a blam blam. This is interesting. I didn't know what to make. Oh, whenever you skip your turn, you gain HP. Well, had I known that, I would have picked that other card. Starts clashes with 5 additional HP. Let's start with strength. Let's put a muscle shirt on Disco Dan.
Fight!
Oh, they've got more health. But we're dodging more. Oh, we're trying. What does Vigor do? Oh, the next attack deals 1 more damage. Are we gonna be the best dancer? Play another card? Yeah, I want to keep spins. Oh, we've got the metal guy. At the start of your next turn, deal 15 damage. This is reduced by how much damage you take. till the next turn. Card is removed from the rest of the splash. We'll gain another dodge. Oh, I like Metal Marty's theme. While you have less than 10 HP, play an extra card every turn. Start clashes with the dodge. Okay. Well, we can get rid of that dodge. Oh, he did rude insults. Kind of love that it's an auto card battler, but I wish that you could pick the order in which these went. Okay, look, you're not making a lot of sense. We're gonna fast forward. Come on, we're going down. Let me turn my camera off for a second. I need y'all to appreciate Disco Dan. Did we die? Get a headbang. I think we might have died. Okay, we're going fast. It happens so fast. Well, I had speed on for that one. So I guess that might be also why. Look at Dan, though. Dan's really going for it. You can tell it was just a proof of concept, but it's also kind of fun. It reminds me of Super Auto Pets. We got to see if I'm the top dancer. And then after that, I just want to talk. We'll wrap up. But I need to see if I'm the top dancer. Groove. Also, let's talk a bit. Y'all, if you are bored, you don't know what you want to play, go to itch.io and just look at the games. Because I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, you're going to find something free that's like this. It's not your like average, like, you know, if you know the right developers too. Whoa, 10 HP. You're going to kill us. I thought we had this in the bag. Oh no. Oh no. I thought we were going to be so good at this. Did damage for every spin played this turn? Yes. Gain 7 HP, skip your next turn? Yes. We need some healing. We're gonna go fast. Jazzy Jasper just cut a rug all over Disco Dan's face. I know. Well, Jazzy Jasper keeps healing. Circular breathing. On your first turn, 3 turns, gain 5 HP. Okay, so we're doing all this stuff, and ain't nobody losing any health.
Game over. Dancing Duelists.
What a cute game. Okay. Listen, it's almost time to wrap it up, so I'm not going to keep playing. We're going to go back to back over here so we can just do the sort of what the impact of the game is, what it means to me, the things that I kind of like about this game. I think it's an amazing game, Slay the Spire. Dancing Duelist was fun. Like I said, that was a proof of concept the devs made to see if Godot would work for what they wanted to do. Obviously it works. You're playing it now if you're playing Slay the Spire, and the game doesn't play just any bit differently. So that's kind of cool. I think when we think about the impact of Slay the Spire, what we have to do is think about other card games. I read an article about one of the creators, and it was kind of egotistical, but I also sort of agree with him that when he sees other card games coming out now, they don't do what Slay the Spire did, and they choose to like skip out on a few things. And his thought was, "Why are you going backwards? We showed you the way." I was like, "That sounds really kind of," but I think when you look at things like Magic the Gathering or Hearthstone, there's a high bar to entry to those games the later you get involved. First off, they are PvP for the most part. I think you can mess around in Hearthstone, not PvP now for the most part if you wanted. Um, but there's a high focus on collecting cards. So you're spending money to get packs of cards, or you're having to play for a long time to get the cards you want. And then you got to do a lot of research to see like what the best sort of meta is for your deck. And that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying these things are like bad. They're not for me. It makes Slay the Spire different because you're using something like the Dominion route. There's a set number of cards there. When you pick somebody, they've got a deck. And then you are essentially deck building as you play the game. So they're forcing the thing that I usually don't want to do. They're basically erasing that tedium of building a deck by limiting your choices every round. You don't have 20 cards to pick from, you have 3 at the end of each round. And you have very few chances to maybe get rid of a card or upgrade a card, right? It's those like it forces you to deck build in such a way that I think it plays much better. I don't know. Do y'all play a lot of deck builders? Do you like deck builders? For those of you who have played Slay the Spire, do you think it's the best deck builder that you've played? That's for the Twitch chat, but also any of these questions I've asked, leave it in the YouTube comments too if you've got a comment about that, because I do think Slay the Spire, for my biggest bang for my buck, when I want to play a deck builder, I always think of Slay the Spire first. There have been deck builders that have come along since then, like Wild Frost. Still can't get into Wild Frost. It's a little bit, the difficulty curve is kind of too hard. And I like the graphics more than I like Slay the Spire's graphics, but I don't know, y'all. It just doesn't hit the same. It just doesn't hit the same. Gaming Gig says, I'm very interested in it. Balatro is the only one I've ever played through. I also really want to play Inscription too, but I know that's a little different than your normal deck builder. Both of those, you brought up 2 of the other heavy hitters, I think. In my mind, there's like 4 heavy hitters for deck builders in the indie stratosphere. So because indie, I don't count Blizzard for Hearthstone. I don't count Magic the Gathering Arena. I think that Monster Train, Slay the Spire, Inscription, and Balatro, I think those 4 are like the best deck builders I've ever played. Inscription is absolutely nuts. It's a horror game, and I think it breaks down so many conventions of a deck builder. It's actually worth its own episode, to be fair. But I've not beat Inscription. I can't get past the first part of it. Bees, hello. Monster Train is great fun. I love it maybe more than Slay the Spire, but it's definitely greedier and a bit less smooth. That's the thing. I have a friend, Tiger, who has said that Monster Train is the only one that like he really loves, but he's also kind of a genius at games. And I think that Monster Train is harder. I think it is greedier. I think it's harder hitting. Slay the Spire, I think if you're new to deck builders, you'll still be able to get it, just like people who play thousands of hours. Also, I'm going to give a shout out to a streamer who I think does a really good job. I don't have any of this active. I do have it in there, but Jorbs, Jorbs, twitch.tv/Jorbs. Also, he's got a YouTube channel. Jorbs plays thousands upon thousands of hours of Slay the Spire, has a million playthroughs on YouTube. I watched a little bit of Jorbs when I was getting back into it a while back. And I watched a little bit for researching this episode. I think Slay the Spire is easier for early Ascension Covenant, but I'm finding Slay the Spire harder at high Ascensions. That's a good point, and we didn't really talk about that, but Slay the Spire adjusts its difficulty as you play it more and more. So it always gets harder, and it is always going to be a tough challenge. So Slay the Spire, like, it's good when you first get into it, but it covers you throughout. I will have thousands of hours in it. But for now, we have to wrap up. That's all for Indie Game Tea Time today. I want to thank our live Twitch audience for being here, the viewers here on YouTube. I also thank y'all for hanging out and watching. Leave a comment if you want to talk about this game a little bit. I think it's just excellent. If you've got ideas for future episodes, let me know those in the comments. Talk about those, in Twitch. DM me. Whatever you need to do. I will say that I rushed out this podcast. It was going to be something I was going to bring back slowly, but because I lost my job, I don't have a source of income, and I thought I've got extra time to put things out on YouTube. So if you want to help support me in making this and having the resources to keep on putting stuff like this out, there's always my Twitch. You can support me there, but also there's Ko-fi, ko.fi.com/Hekvetica. There's memberships, or there's one-time payments. Memberships, I am still getting off the ground. Right now they're at $5, $10, $15, but I think I'm going to add a $2 in there as well. Members get secret Stardew Valley streams. They're just videos, but they're an hour and a half long each week. Play a little Stardew Valley on that new farm type. And thank you, Zesty, for putting that in the chat. Your sister just lost her job too. Yeah, a lot of that's going around. But anyways, there's my Ko-fi. I'm hoping to get members there. They take a little bit less than Amazon takes for Twitch. So if you want to support me, that's where to do it. I'll put all those links in the comments in the YouTube video and probably on the screen somewhere, probably around here, if I remember. I'm trying not to let my editing take up all of my time because, whew. Anyways, have a great time. Keep drinking tea. Keep playing indies. We'll talk to you later.